Hi everyone, thanks for checking out my first official video message. So I want to give you all a little bit of background on Catherine Lee Music and our approach, which I pride our business on having a progressive approach to music education. And what I mean by progressive is being with it, right? Evolving. We have to adapt and we have to adjust to the times as things change. And they are changing, right? Rapidly. Just in the last 5 years, it's unbelievable how quickly things have changed. And we have to be with it. We have to be present, and we have to change. As society changes, we have to change our approach to music education. Because our focus is the performing arts. And the performing arts are in trouble right now. And what I mean by in trouble is that they don't have support. They don't have the support that they had 30 years ago. And I know this firsthand, not only because I'm a musician, but because I am an avid enthusiast of art and music in particular. So if I go to a great concert at Lincoln Center and I'm listening to the New York Phil, so I'm in a great hall, right? I'm listening to world-renowned musicians playing awesome music and they're sounding really good. If I just sort of observe my surroundings, it doesn't matter what kind of show I'm at in New York or even here in some of the great places we have in Jersey. I am by far one of the youngest people in the room. Everybody is 35 to 55 years older than I am. So that means that young people meaning 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, they're not supporting the performing arts. Certainly not live classical music. And why is that? Well, we have a lot of cooler options now in terms of entertainment, right, than we ever have. It's really easy to turn on the television. I don't even have television in my home by choice, but I did. And when I did have television, I have to admit, it was really easy to turn it on. And there were a lot of cool things that could very easily entertain me. I choose now to entertain myself differently, but I'll admit it, it's easy to watch TV, and there's some cool stuff on there. But we have to remember that we should be entertained by live performing art as well. It's good for us, right? So, obviously, technology has a lot to do with it, but we have to embrace technology because it's not going anywhere. It's going to get bigger and better and flashier and fancier every year. And we embrace it. You know, we have our iPods and our iPads in the lessons. Half the sheet music I own is on my iPad now. So you know, we're with it. We're current. And what are the other reasons? Oh, people say this all the time. Well, my parents never exposed me to music. They never exposed me to art. Okay, well, is it really their fault in that case? Probably not. You could expose yourself later on in life, but that is a legitimate concern if they were never exposed. But what about people who were exposed to music lessons? I meet people all the time. All the time. And I meet people and they try to connect with me through music, which is a really cool thing. And they'll bring up their experiences with music, which I like. I like to hear that. And they'll say, oh yeah, I was 10 and I took guitar lessons and I quit because I didn't like my teacher. I hear this all the time. Probably once a week I hear this. I hear the same things over and over in terms of why people left their lesson. First and foremost, people say, I wish I had never quit, which is a really nice thing to hear, in a way. But they also say they didn't like their teacher, and that's the reason they quit, and that's crazy to me. That doesn't really make any sense, because music is cool. Music is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to really like your music teacher. But it is a real thing. It is a real thing. It happens, and people take lessons as a kid, and then they quit because they had no rapport with their teacher. So think about that guy. The guy who's still young, he's 40, right? He took guitar lessons when he was 10 and he quit. Is he going to the New York Phil? Is he going to any of the great music venues we even have here in Jersey? Maybe, if someone drags him. But probably not. Is it really his fault? Not really. It's because he has a negative connotation now with music because of the experience he had as a child. And that's terrible. So we're changing our approach because we're seeing that that is a frequent thing. It's happening more and more. We are changing our approach so that the primary concern that we have with our students is building a relationship with them. And you can do it very easily. You can do it by adapting and changing your lesson, tailoring it to each student, because each student is different. You can't walk into every lesson with a cookie cutter lesson plan, because everybody's different. Everybody thinks differently, everybody learns differently, and everybody reacts to certain situations differently. If you connect with the student, and you can, whether they're 5 or 55, you can connect with them. Sometimes you have to dig a little bit. You don't have to ask people a slew of personal questions in order to find out about their life. All you have to do is really listen, and listen carefully. And you can find out how they think. You can find out what they're like, a little bit of who they are, and that's how you build a relationship. So when you have a strong relationship, the student then trusts the teacher. Let's face it, if you really like somebody, you trust them. And when the student trusts the teacher, then the teacher is able to open the mind of the student, expand their mind, and expose them to new thoughts and new ways of thinking, which will in turn give us better results in the lesson. If you have an open mind, you're going to get better results no matter what you're trying to do. Because our concern is not 6 months from now. Our concern is not what's the next flashy tune you're going to play at the concert. If you can play a flashy tune at the concert, that's great, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, I'm not concerned with that. I'm not worried about that. What I'm concerned with is how are music lessons going to help you with life? How are the skills that we are providing you with going to ensure that you will have a better life because of the lessons? Because you will. I promise you that. And this is what we're doing. We are evolving and we are changing because times change and people change. So we have to change our approach with that. So am I going to be disappointed if you don't become a concert pianist? No. Am I going to be disappointed if you aren't a lover of music forever? Yes. More to come. Thank you all for checking us out. Be well, and we will talk soon.